Hello, my name is Drew Troutner, and I am an implementation manager here at InsideSales.com. Today we will be covering several topics to help you get up and running using PowerStandings. These will include setting up teams, setting up key performance indicators, and leaderboards. To get started using PowerStandings, you want to first navigate to the Inside Sales tab within Salesforce. From the Inside Sales tab, you will notice this PowerStandings section right here in the middle of the page. The first place we want to go to is the Manage Teams section here on the left-hand side. From the Manage Teams page, go ahead and click on the Create New Team link. From the New Team page, you can come to the Standings bar. The Standings bar is where you can choose which metrics are most important for your team. We start with dials, correct contacts, voicemails, inbound talk time, and outbound talk time. These widgets can be customized by simply clicking on the wrench icon over the widget. When you click on this icon, you can then change the type for the widget, whether it's a KPI, a challenge, or an adaptive widget. If we pick KPI, you can choose the specific KPI that you want to measure on. We have widgets such as annual contract value, contact, completed product demonstration, dials, emails, and many other widgets and KPIs, several of which we will discuss later. You can also customize the date range. So by default, it is set to today, but you can also show this week, this month, this quarter, this year, or all time. Keep in mind that these are calendar weeks and calendar months. In the team settings section, you can give your team a special name, choose the target KPIs, and also choose the default points view. I like to be creative with my team names, but you can simply name it after the manager as well. In this case, we are going to call this the A team. You can choose the target KPIs. Since this is a business development type team, I like to focus on the leading indicators, such as dials, emails, outbound talk time, and we will also focus on voicemails left. You can then customize the points view by choosing today. There are two ways that you can choose who belongs to a team. By default, we use the role that they are assigned to in Salesforce, but you can also do it by manager. If you want to do it by manager, just contact our support team and they can make the switch for you so that you can make that change. In this case, I want to make sure that I am including my training coordinator and my marketing team on this team. I can simply move them over just like this. Team managers can be selected as well. This allows them to create challenges and achievements for the team members without being an inside sales administrator. Notification settings also allow you to choose how often you want your team to be notified of changes within the PowerStandings. The notification types that you can do are none, normal, and neural notifications. Neural notifications are a smart learning algorithm that allow your team members to receive custom tailored notifications based on their personal preferences. I always start with the high frequency because you get a higher value, allows your team members to receive more notifications, which will help improve the gaming experience for your team members. When you're finished, go ahead and click on Save. Let's talk about key performance indicators. From the Inside Sales tab, you can access the key performance indicators by clicking on this link on the right-hand side. Key performance indicators are metrics that help you to gauge your team's effectiveness. We have a number of different metrics which cover key aspects of the selling process. Some of these metrics, as you can see here on the setup type, are manual and some are auto. Auto KPIs don't require any additional configuration, but manual KPIs require configuration to help define this metric for your specific company. A metric such as appointment set can be measured differently by every company, and so we give you the flexibility to define that the way that you have it defined in Salesforce. To edit a metric, you can simply come into the Edit button here to the left of the metric. This allows you to see what the metric is called and assign a specific point value to it, as well as see a brief description. From here, you can simply deactivate the KPI by unchecking the active checkbox. This post URL will also be important as you are configuring custom KPIs. I typically will come in here, highlight it, and then copy it to my clipboard for use later. In order to configure a KPI, we use workflow rules and outbound messages within Salesforce. For me to configure a custom appointment set KPI, I simply go to the Setup page within Salesforce. Within Setup, the quickest way to find the workflow section is by simply starting to type workflow using the quick search bar. From here, we can click on workflow rules, and we will create a new workflow rule to define this appointment set KPI. I use leads, so I will come in here on the object section, select leads, and then hit next. I will give this a custom name of appointment set KPI. You can add a custom description as well. We want to make sure that in this case that we use the created and any time it's edited to subsequently meet the criteria. For the field, we are going to go ahead and use lead status to determine whether or not an appointment is set. We use the operator for equals, and then we'll go ahead and select the value that we want. In this case, we're going to be using appointment set. We'll insert the selected, and now we are ready to go, and we can hit save and next. From here, we want to add a workflow action, and the action that we want to add is a new outbound message. For simplicity's sake, I like to call this the same thing that I named the workflow rule, which is appointment set KPI. That endpoint URL on this section right here is where we will paste the value that we selected on our previous page. This is the URL that pushes to our servers to let us know that you have set an appointment. On the fields to send, we want to make sure that we give credit to the person who set the appointment. There are several ways that you can determine who should get credit for that. They are going to be created by ID, and this is whoever created the lead, the owner ID, which would be whoever owns the lead, or it can be the last modified by, which would be the person who set the appointment. In this case, we are going to use last modified date, select it to the add side, and click save. From here, we will go ahead and click on the done button, and then we want to make sure that we are activating our KPI by clicking the activate button. And now our appointment set KPI is now configured and set up and is active and ready to go. InsideSales.com allows you to create leaderboards that you can put up on flat screen TVs in your office. To create a leaderboard, simply click on the Manage Leaderboards link in the middle of the page. From here, you can click on Create New Leaderboard. This will take you to a wizard where you can quickly create a leaderboard for your team. Since we are working with our BDR team, we will call this BDR Leaderboard. The transition time is how much time elapses between slides. In this case, we will select 30 seconds so we can be sure that we can see our metrics fairly quickly. Custom sounds will play the sounds that your team has created to represent themselves if they become featured on the leaderboard. The Keep Alive section allows you to automatically refresh the leaderboard so that you don't get logged out of Salesforce. The Keep Alive interval allows you to specify a specific time. I typically choose 10 minutes. Leader list settings describe the different pages that you can have on your leaderboard. The first thing we need to do is click this active checkbox. From here, we can pick the specific metric that we will feature. In this case, we will use dials. For the content, we go ahead and select the KPI. As you can see, we have a list of some of the same KPIs that we had on our previous screen. If you deactivate a KPI, it will no longer be visible from this screen. So if there are KPIs that you will not be using, feel free to deactivate those at your convenience. In this case, we will be using dials. The date range is how much time we want to show. So in this case, if we do daily, it will show the dials made today. If we show weekly, it will show the dials made this calendar week. Monthly is this calendar month, etc. We will pick daily for our instance here. The color can be magenta, blue, green, or orange. These are all fairly subtle and are easy to change at any time. The teams allows you to pick which specific team that you want to include. In this case, we have two teams for the A team. I'm going ahead and select both teams to include them on my leader list. For leader list number 2, we can click the active checkbox, and then we'll cover outbound talk time for our metric. For the content, we can go ahead and search for outbound talk time and select it from the dropdown. We will use the same date range of daily, as well as a color of green, and we'll be sure to select both teams. I can add a third leader list, or I can add up to 10 other leader lists by clicking on the Add Leader List button. Typically, most of our customers use between 5 and 7 lists to not overwhelm their leaderboards. The Events section will allow you to customize a feed shown on the right-hand side with specific metrics and events that can happen. We've set up our appointment set, and so I will include this in the event feed and also feature the user full screen if they set an appointment. I can also add throwdowns won, throwdowns issued, and rejected throwdowns as well. I like to feature my new leaders from the leader list KPIs, so if we have a new dials leader or a new talk time leader, I want to make sure that I can feature them by making them go full screen as well. This can be customized at any time after you have created your leader list. From here, I will click on OK and then click on Save. Now I have my leaderboard that is listed here, and I can click on the Open link to open this leaderboard. When you first load this leaderboard, it might be blank until our system can properly create the leaderboard. If you open it up and you see that it's blank, don't worry, it will populate in just a few moments. For now, I will go ahead and show you a leaderboard that has already been created. As you can see, I'm the number 1 dialer out of 1 dialer. So as I add more users into my system, they will be listed here. I can see a quick picture of the individual users as well for the first, second, and third place members. The events feed here on the right-hand side allows me to see the specific events that have happened recently. My team hasn't been working very hard today, so there have been no events listed. But within 30 seconds, this will switch to the next metric that we have on the board. So we go from dials to our appointments set. So we can see that my team has created 11 appointments set for now. And these will continue to cycle through as time goes on. For more information on configuring PowerStandings, please visit our community site at community.insidesales.com. If you need immediate assistance on configuring PowerStandings, our support team is ready and able to assist you. Please feel free to call them at 866-593-2807. Thank you for joining us today.